Okay, Pulinanandji, we are coming towards the end, and we've been doing Samayik since last 2 weeks. Today's the last day of seeing the Anter Skaran, seeing file number 1, simply observing what our external body self keep doing all day. So this is just an experiment, and not to dwell more on that or why or that. It's just observing. So if you can share some thoughts from your experience, will be great.
Come again. The Samayik is on observing the Antaskaran or the daily schedule?
No, through Antaskaran, observe whatever the physical body is doing. Okay, like I'm talking to you, I'm eating, I'm doing, I talk this way, that way, just observing the physical body part that is doing.
Okay.
No analysis why I did it, whatever. Because
I
that's
understood. So,
coming afterward. This is just observing your file number 1, whatever he is doing.
I understand. And this was one of the purushas also suggested by the Dada Bhagwan to us, that create a habit at the end of the day of observing what all file number 1 has been doing. You know, like I got up in the morning, then I went to toilet, then I did brush, then I ate breakfast, then maybe bath, then rush, newspaper, office, interact with it, person A, person B, had a dispute with someone, got angry on someone, or went well, did the vidhi, could not do vidhi. Observe whatever file 1 has done by mind, in that is at the in thought level, whatever at the speech level, whatever at the action level, interaction with people and all. So just observe as a, like we watch a film, observe in a non-judgmental manner, without getting into the whys and whats of it, as a third party, like a CCTV camera being replayed, something like that. So this is the process of what Dada has told. What will happen during time, you will see where all file 1 has gone wrong. What are the mistakes it has done, whether it has hurt someone by mind, body, speech, whether some anger, pride, deceit, any of the kashais has taken part, and it'll give a scope for corrective action. That in by way of Pratikamana and asking for strength.
Yeah, I think that's coming next, because we are just observing right now.
This is the, I'm just coming. This was the suggestion of observing so that you can take corrective action.
Okay.
Because otherwise, the whole day goes just mechanically, You got up, did this work, did that, had meal at night, went to bed. Little bit of vidhi, arti, and fat. Now, to get out of that rut of mechanical activity and getting engrossed in file number 1, he says at least pause and see. But there is a science behind that. The science is when you observe, you are seated on the seat of the pure soul. And you are in the observer state, and you are observing file number 1. Now, this is a process of separation, where you at least separate as a constructive activity. Otherwise you are not able to remain separate during the daily work. So make it a separate activity and observe, so that a separation comes, and then wherever errors have been committed, then corrective action follows. So if you find it a challenge to do it at night, then do it split into 2 parts. Say morning to afternoon, lunch or around that time, and the second part post lunch to say dinner, bedtime, and of whatever you have done in the morning half, then the remaining half. So in 2 parts, if you keep observation, it becomes faster. And then if that same thing gets extended, then one may observe after every 2 hours, so whenever he gets a pause moment of free time. And so once you observe every 2 hours, and that 2 hours can become less, and then becomes continuous online. You're observing constantly, it's not practical. If you're working, your antaskaran will be occupied, but whenever you get pause moments. So the crux or the principle behind this act, Purusharth, was you get separated from the body and come to an observer status. The core property of the pure soul, Gnata Drashta, observer and knower, or knower and seer, Gnata and Drashta. To come into that state, this agyarus is precisely for this thing. When a stomach is empty, you're not going to eat anyway, you're not going to get food anyway, so that craving also will go away. And it just remain Gnata. The 24 hours separation process, which is an event, but on a daily basis, do it at the end of the day or whenever you get time, so that you start becoming separate. What is happening is to file number one and you are separate, and then corrective action will follow. Don't even have to wait. Your prajna within you or within us will definitely say, sorry. Corrective action will follow. But now that you are split in two parts, it's fine. But if really done properly, you see, and in being non-judgmental, basically, you see, if you're observing with consciousness through the prajna, then it will be non-judgmental. And if it's through the buddhi, then the judgmental part will come. Are good, bad, and all that stuff. But anyway, for a beginner, whatever happens. You can set the ball rolling, and then it can be refined over by experience.
Very
The
good.
crux is expression. The scientific principle behind it, because you see, minus mark wala ne gnan diya hai, so some steps have to be given how to improve. Then it will become online. Then walking, talking, you will be observing errors, immediate correction, and fat. Then you
Very
don't have
good.
to pile up the day.
Very good. Okay, Chitalben, you have to say something?
Yeah, I just want to clarify something, JSS and Pulinanandji. That, I've been trying to do this experiment, but what had happened was that in the morning time, until I, start preparing lunch and breakfast for cable to pack, everything is sort of routine. So I'm able to observe Sheetal, I'm doing VD, I'm doing all of that, Jua. But then once files come, the day starts, then the observation would go away, like Juvanu Budu Chuki Jai. So I think what I understood from what you were saying right now is, if that's hard, you can do it afterwards too. Like in my lunch break, I can say, okay, what happened since you started working till now, or even in the evening then. So doing it afterwards is also, I never
Yes.
thought about doing that. Okay.
Yeah, that is equivalent.
Okay.
Because unless you do it afterwards, you'll set the ball rolling, na? And then that jagrati will increase, and gradually you will be able to do it even while working. But that is a later stage. Right now,
Okay.
you can keep it at that. You can keep it at that.
Okay, because it was really difficult to, because all the work activities require a lot of focus. So it's
Yes. No, it's
really
not. When it's not possible. It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's not
So
possible.
Okay, good, very good suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you. Deepakanji, you want to add something?
Yes, I would like to say that the way Dada Bhagwan has said, that whenever he is in conversation with anyone, then at that time he says that the tape record is the speaker. People who are listening, they are the listeners. He remains as observer of the tape being played, the speaker what he's speaking, and he keeps checking if there's anything wrong, he keeps correcting. So at that time, he's not seeing what Mr. A.M. Patel is doing. His focus is on the tape record, because the focus is on tape record and correct anything which is wrong. So whenever there is file, then our focus is on the file, because file needs amicable settlement. And so, in those moments, if we are following, we are supposed to be following Agna and remain in as in the fourth Agna of settling the file, handling the file amicably. So the whole pure soul use is in settlement of the file. But he said, when file is not there, then I am one with the God. So we have to accept this, because file means it needs attention, it needs handling, and that handling needs to be amicable. Jai Satchidanand.
Shailaben?
Essentially, you know what we have to look, where rag or dvesh is taking place. That's all. In what during the working.
Correct.
Oh,
Afterwards, essentially
afterwards, observe that.
the crux is to actually reach over there.
That's the goal. Okay.
And as the Jagrati, as the awareness will increase over a period of time, as the pressure of files will reduce over a period of time, then you will have enhanced online Jagrati, like you said, na? I can immediately spot any error in the speech of a Patel that has come. I can immediately spot any mistake that has happened by action. It would never happen, but that enhanced awareness is there on file number 1, mind, body, speech, everything. But that we will come as our pressure of files reduces. And as our inner weaknesses reduce, Krodman, Maya, our inner discharge, moho reduces. So when all those things reduce, our Jagrati will be enhanced, and then this is a natural outcome of all that. So don't worry about the outcome. Go piecemeal, Purusharth,
Okay. Okay, Shailaben?
Yes.
You want to say something?
Jai Satchidanand, Pulinanandji, Jai Satchidanand, Deepakanandji, Jai Satchidanand, all Mahatmas. My question is, of course, regarding the food, the intake of food, and how I've been eating because of some emotional, it's more of an emotional eating. There's some void, and then you start eating. And you know it, you're observing it, you know that you should not be doing this. And then, after I'm done with that, and every day at the end of the day, I'm like, I shouldn't, file number 1, this is something which shouldn't have happened, we should not be eating. Only when there's an emotional, I think binging or whatever you call it. So how do I, because I keep doing it, and then I correct myself, I keep doing it. Is this how it's going to happen? Like you mentioned, it's just the discharge is so strong. Is it, and I myself get tired with the way I'm doing this. It's like I'm not hungry, but you keep, there's some void that you feel, and then you do that emotional eating for a while and then stop. So this is what is going to keep happening till this whole thing. And I do pray and hope that it'll stop.
See, there are two things. One is intrinsic. We have brought, that every 2 hours or so we need to munch something.
Right.
That is one. And Dada used to mention that it is predominant in women than men. They have this tendency to extract happiness from food. So little bit of munch every 2 hours or so roughly they need.
Yes.
So that is that, as I mentioned, a very strong imposed belief of happiness from food.
Yes.
So that's part of the discharge.
Part of this.
And the second thing that you mentioned, that has also been well opinionated by psychiatrists, that whenever we are emotionally unstable, we try to seek happiness from somewhere, and then food is the easiest thing to get happiness, to overcome that weakness or whatever inner burning or suffering that we have. So that can be taken care by our Gnan or Dada's knowledge. And whatever disturbance in worldly matters that is happening to us, while this thing, those have to be tackled with today's Dada's Gnan or 5 Agnas and all that, so that the mind and intellect are at peace. Basically, we have to pacify our mind and intellect. Why he did like this? Why I have to suffer so much? How many times I have to only do? My life is like that only. Nothing will happen next 5 years. So then to forget that, you start eating,
Yes.
So, so the obesity normal in some people is because of that.
Yes, yes.
So it's a known phenomena. It's a known phenomena. Now, those question marks where the mind and intellect is disturbed and the ego is feeling very unhappy in that state of this thing. So the ego resorts to this happiness. Now, the answer to that is we have to give the proper Gnan solutions that Dada Bhagwan has given us. We find someone's behavior wrong, then what is the true understanding of Dada Bhagwan? How would he have tackled such a behavior, such a situation? Whatever the 5 agnas or whatever Bhagwateni Bhul or whatever n number of things Dada Bhagwan has said. So apply Dada's Gnan and try to pacify the mind and intellect and the ego, a disturbed ego, basically. So use Dada's knowledge. Now, once that is satisfied or suppressed, then this urge to eat will also reduce. The urge to eat is something to just overcome that pain.
Yes.
Just to overcome all that pain, temporary pain, you are just overcoming by eating and feeling happy. But that pain still remains.
Yes.
It has not been resolved by proper understanding.
Yes, definitely. I don't feel happy after eating. No.
No one feels because pain has not gone. Now you have not addressed the pain.
Exactly,
it's like
the root cause.
Like a person who is undergoing some trouble in his worldly life, and he resorts to drinking. He drinks so that 2 hours or 2 days that period is at peace. But again, that when that intoxication goes away, that pain is still there.
Still there. Yes.
So that is exactly what is happening with what you are saying is. So one of the things could be to address it with the Dada's Gnan and gradually over a period of time pacify that. So once that is satisfied, then that binge eating or that emotional eating will stop.
Okay.
That emotional eating will stop. And then number 2, I want to enhance my awareness, remain in the pure soul and do more of this. Once that becomes your inner desire, not because you have heard that in substance, you must feel like doing it. And once that becomes a goal, then food and happiness from food will be on a low priority.
Yes. The focus should change. Yeah. The
focus has to change.
Yes.
Your happiness, you must feel that I will be happy if I'm able to achieve or grow spiritually.
Exactly. Yes.
I want the happiness of the pure soul and not happiness of the 5 senses.
Okay. Got it.
So once you get into that frame of mind, this will happen. It will take time, but mind you, there's no quick result.
Yes. I've been waiting.
Be slow and steady.
Yes. You keep slipping. That's the thing.
Else you'll get frustrated.
Yes. Very frustrated. Yes.